Hello, good evening. Long time no see. I am I'm so favorite your retail therapist turned sewist. So much has happened since I made my last video. I think I did come on and announce that I had opened a textile art school in Wayne, New Jersey. And oh my goodness, so much has happened. I got a couple of pictures. I was going to share them to kind of take you down a story. I opened this beautiful studio in Wayne. This is it. It was a nice little shop. I was there for 2 years. Um, Long story short, building my business, having a great time, hosted some great events there, uh, gained some great client traction, worked on my craft, textile art, sewing, crochet. My daughter came along. She's my crochet teacher, and I'm the sewing teacher, and we're just having a good time growing the studio. Spent some holidays. I had opportunity to, dress the windows seasonally. It was just such a good time. This is me here at the grand opening, and again, it was like a 5 room studio. Um, Not the ideal space for what I wanted to do, but sometimes we want to look for perfection, and perfection is not. Uh, where we start, we perfect things as we go. And so I just kind of took the opportunity to go into the spot. I mean, they had such little questions to ask me, and I just took the leap, as my dear sister would say, with her book, Pam. Took the leap, and opened the studio. And what a great time I had! Met some great neighbors, one of which I still stay in contact with. She has really just blessed my life with her presence, and she's even, given me fabric. And then one of the clients gave me this beautiful cactus that I still have downstairs in my kitchen. Just some great friends. But fast forward, I'm there 2 years, and the neighbor decides she wants to go up on the rent without, not the neighbor, the landlord, without any improvement to the property, just here, I think I would call it greed. Just, got greedy. And, I was doing a lot. Right to the right of this studio was another store that never opened. And here I am holding this whole corner down, and she thought to come and increase the rent. And I'm not talking about a little. I understand that rent goes up, but we got to be logical. And I, just said, no, I'm not going to re-sign the contract. I took that as my opportunity to exit and pray. And I, did a couple of private lessons and uh, hosted some classes in a temporary venue. Um, and it worked out that I was able to retain my clients. And then we moved to this beautiful place right here in the bottom right hand corner. It's an arts building in Wayne, New Jersey. When I tell you the blessing of being in this building, I mean, my rent is decreased. I don't have to pay for parking. Excuse me, I didn't pay for parking at the place. I don't have to pay for electricity. I don't have to pay for heat. I don't have to pay for snow removal. I don't have to pay for water bill. Everything is included with my rent. Have great neighbors. It's other artists in this building here, and what a joy it has been to get my um, clients reestablished in this building. I'm hosting classes Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays in the evenings. And I'm having a great time. This lady here in the pink, I had the opportunity after before I left the other place in Wayne to participate in a fashion show in New York, and I launched my first uh, premature line, and it was such a great time. Again, in my year of yes, took the opportunity to just do a fashion show. I was invited to do the fashion show, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I have no reason to say no. And so I'm at the point in my life now. I'm not looking for ways out, looking for ways in. Pray about it. And God really blessed me. I was able to put 11 pieces on the runway. and what a boost to my confidence. It just showed me that I was very capable. And this is all on the back end of finishing Paige's wedding. Paige got married in September, and the fashion show was in October, and I was able to pull it off. To God be the glory, that He strengthened me, and I was able to come and put 11 outfits on the runway. Also, in my move, I was able to, with my son, Huzu, update my logo, and started working on merchandise. So this is the merchandise brand for all of our crochet material, and this is the merchandise logo or a marker for all of our sewing um, uh, items within our shop and studio. I'm having a great time. This is me in my everywhere coat. It's my quilted travel coat, and I wear this to the airport. Anywhere I wear this coat, I get so much attention, um, and it just makes everything elegant. In the airport, you're warm. It doubles as a blanket, and so I have launched my coats within my studio, and again, they're made for the elevated traveler because you're not worried about carrying a blanket with you. You have this nice coat on that again rolls. You don't have to worry about it being wrinkled. When you take it off, you can just roll it up and put it in your bag and go. It is a great piece, and like I said, you have your blanket with you, and it's also fashionable. So that's my piece that I launched. I'm telling you, um, the sky is the limit. There's so much creativity, and I talked about that. When I first came on, like I'm so inspired, and social media, Instagram, TikTok, uh, even Facebook, even it just if you go there for any other reason than to be inspired or entertained, you're taking yourself too seriously. It's so much out there, so many creators out and about. And again, I'm so glad that I brought myself over to YouTube and started my channel. My channel is very old, although I don't have a lot of followers. It really was for me not about the followers. It was about coming out of my comfort zone, and doing something and challenging myself. And so now I'm out here powered by StreamYard. um, I thought about when we first came on all the steps it took to do a video, and then when we went live during COVID, I was really capable when it came down to getting my church set up on social media, uh, uh, to have church on a global or platform, easy access for our congregation. And I was just like so blessed. I felt so blessed I was able to contribute to my church on that level, because I took the leap to do I'm So Favored, in my little, creative space. And boy, have I created a space for myself. I've, through building my confidence, I've seen I can, measure my own self, my own growth. I don't, toot my own horn. I don't mean it as an ego boost, but like coming out of my comfort zone has allowed me not only come out here, but to come out in my career, come out in my church, come out in my family, uh, you know, uh, travel more, uh, got promoted at work, very involved at my job, in my community, and just something as small as just coming on here and doing my, hauls and painting and, showing you guys my Dollar Tree crafts, has led me into something so great. Again, I'm in my 3-room studio. Could really be 4 rooms, but 3-room studio. And the blessings have like really overtaken me. I've I've again dressed this space and Facebook Market finds and freebies, and people just donated me fabric. Like I have not really had to buy fabric unless I wanted to, because people just came on board and gifted me fabric and gifted me sewing machines and gifted me craft supplies and gifted me yarn and gifted me needle and thread. It's just been one blessing after another, one artist contributing to another artist. I've had friends come along and have birthday parties in my shop, and women events at my shop, and looking to do so many more things within the creative space. I am now looking to start a sewing club and a book club. um, we teach hand sewing, machine sewing, um, embroidery. It's just I'm now crocheting. I was not a crocheteer prior to this, but like now, seeing the capacity and the many things you can do with yarn. I'm now finding myself, taking yarn and putting that in with my sewing. I think I talked about it. I'm sure I have. I launched my own product line of shea butters and body oils and body sprays, and you know, just got reignited to even bring that back out. I kind of, took a step back. Not that it was gone, because I kept making it for myself, but to even like repackage it and bring it back and add that to the shelf in my shop. I've been invited to vend, and I have staff now to go out and do vending events for me. Um, just so much has happened um, in the course of me not making videos. I was not dormant, um, alive and well, active and growing. Even like my making flyers. I have people calling me now to make birthday invitations for them, like what, and it's really about the parable of the talents, that when you use what God has given you, he'll give you more. um and he has given me so much more than I ever expected. I've written a book, 2 books. I've written 2 books. I am I've did a couples workbook. I am now working on a fashion coloring book. And I never ever imagined having the capacity to do all of these things. I oversee policy on where I work. Never in my wildest of dreams thought that I would be someone that would be overseeing policy and making community impact on the level that God has allowed me to do that, all because I utilize the God-given gift that He gave me, like saying yes to do what He created me to do, and just create, just be like Him, and create. And we all have the capacity to do that. I think we comparison is, the killer of creativity. We don't need to compare ourselves. It's enough in the earth that we all can do what we want to do. There's no need to necessarily replicate. We could be inspired, but we should never be trying to be anybody else but ourselves, because we're the best at doing. We're the best at being us. And so just for time's sake, would say, if you're hesitant, if you're pausing, like don't pause, stop pausing, just go. We had Bible study tonight, and Paul was talking about, he is not perfect by any means, but he's pressing towards um, perfection. And I think procrastination um, and waiting for it to be perfect is a misstep for many of us. That we're just waiting for that perfect time, that perfect moment. Like now is the perfect time. Now's the perfect moment. Do it afraid. Do it incomplete. You can always make it better. I actually went back and redid my label from my first launch of my product line, and I looked at what I made. What, five years ago? Yeah, I guess 5 6 years ago, into what I have now. Like, because I've been using my gift to do um, flyers and announcements, and working in Canva and working in different softwares to build flyers. Like I can I can measure myself by myself. I don't measure I don't take a ruler, my ruler, and put it next to anyone else's ruler. I put my ruler next to who I was last year, last month, last week, and that's the measure that I want to go by. That's the only measure I need, that I can see that I have grown, that I have improved, and that I can make it better. I had my vision board to make a pant line, and I can now make a pair of pants more probably in 30 minutes. And like my first pair of pants, I ran across to them and I'm like, oh, I can make these better now. I took them apart and guess what? I made them better because I can do that. And so now I say I reserve the right for anything I've made for myself, that I can actually go back, if possible, to go back into that garment and I can make it a better garment. And I think that's what God wants to do with us, as it relates to the potter's wheel. Like he's like, when I see a mar in the vessel, he reserves the right to break that vessel and make it a better vessel. And so perfection is not a one-time event. If you look at something and say it's perfect, I think that's, you stunt yourself because you don't know how far you could get it when you go back and reevaluate it later. So just start. Start the YouTube channel, start the Instagram page, build the email address, go to the fair, give out samples, ask people to test your product, um, work on your packaging, you know, do it budget friendly and just add to it, go back and improve it, look at it, ask people for feedback. Don't be afraid to take the feedback. It's not criticism. I work in healthcare and we get audited and we don't look at the audit. So we learned, or I went and we don't look at the audits as um someone as an indictment against you. It's an opportunity for you to improve. And so we have to learn how to take criticism from somebody who has some fruit, of course. So you ask people that you can trust, right? And sometimes that can be a stranger because they have no investment in hurting your feelings or anything, right? And so get the feedback and ask, and don't wait for it to be perfect. You can just start. I'm sitting here. I'm going to get up and take my medication. Um, but so busy today. I worked from home. So and working from home, um, you have to kind of zone in, and not be distracted. And so as soon as work is over, I'm like have all these mental things that I need to get done. Um, and I'm also like, sketching out how I'm gonna revamp my studio where I'm standing here. This is my new studio that I'm standing in, compared to my old studio, which was here. This is my old studio, and so now this is the space that I'm standing in now, um, in this picture, and it's time to revamp it. I've been here for an entire year, so I ended my lease December 2024, um, from the old studio where the rent went up, and then I landed in this spot in February of 2025, and so February 2026 is now my 1 year, and I'm looking at it saying it can't stay this way. Like I need to go in and see what needs to be improved. So I spent a whole lot of time this evening. Um, Trying to see what needs to be improved, um, uh, taking away stuff that's I have not used in the year, things that I'm not going to use, um, redecorating. We had a very cold winter this year, and I realized that I needed to put maybe curtains up. I had the windows bare for the light, but just for efficiency, um, being there for the year, especially this winter being so cold. I'm thinking, I can put some curtains up and make it more cozy. And also when the summer comes, because sometimes when we have a harsh winter, we have an equally harsh summer. And so to put the curtains up to, be energy saving, right? So that my clients, when they're coming in for their sewing lessons and their crochet lessons, that the shop is cozy. And that then I had a TV down in the basement, a smart TV, and just, got that set up so we can watch some of the fashion shows and be inspired. um, it's nice to hear music sometimes, but sometimes you can just look and just get some inspiration while we're sitting in the shop. And it's just really been a journey. And and I'm enjoying the journey. I have a birthday coming up really, really soon, and I'm thinking about, you know, when I did a job that I hated. Oh my God. And I know hate is such a strong word, but I remember, working because I've been with the same company for 40 years, and traveling through that company, like being at one point where I wanted to walk away. Thank you, Miss April, who didn't let me resign. Um, but like really just hating the job. Um, Not because it was a bad job, hating a job because I knew I had more capacity and I had outgrown that job. And it's nothing worse. And I've seen people who make everybody miserable because they're not happy. And I wasn't that person, but I feared becoming that person. And so, again, for you guys who are hesitating, you're going to wake up and say, what if? It's better to keep your job and start working on who you want to be, right? So, that you don't sit in a company and then you start resenting being in that company and not taking a chance because you're never going to know. Unless you try, you're never ever going to know. I'm so thankful for my husband, especially my husband, who supports all of my antics, all of my, I think I could do it. And I remember saying, when the studio closed, when I, not closed, when the studio went up on the rent and I had to move out of this studio, um, maybe I should close it, and just kind of revamp and come back later. And he's like, honey, you've already been out 2 years. You know, it takes 5 years. Like, let's just, just keep going. And I'm so thankful for my husband for doing that for me. And my daughter who came along with me the first 3 years, she's kind of taken a little break, you know, uh, because, she's married now and she got a new job. And so she wants to, do some of her singing and writing, and she's writing a book. She's so talented too. Um, and so I was so blessed that I now have an intern who is now teaching the crochet classes. Again, like it's just a matter of us stepping out and doing what God has called us to do. He has everything we need. I never thought about a crochet intern, but God knew that Paige is going to need a break, and look what He had for us because we dared to get started. That intern, was a student, sewing student, and now turned crochet teacher intern. You know, and so He has everything we need, and we just have to ignite our faith, put our faith with our careers, put our faith in our finances, put our faith in the abilities that He has given us. Same thing with ministry, like just to rest in Him, be His hands and His feet, right? And do what is natural, the thing you have the instinct to do. Creating is something I've always had the instinct to do because I have always had a craft room in my house. My kids have always done crafts. Now, as a grandma, the best job in the world. Um, um, my grandkids come and they know that we're gonna do a craft project. Like, Grandma, love, what are we gonna do? Like, it's a part of who we are as a family, that we're always gonna be making something, and we're in the garden and we're painting rocks, and we built Jericho roses, um, um, greenhouses, and gingerbread men, and we're always bringing the paint out. They brought their bears because their bears had tears and their bears needed surgery. And you know what? Grandma Lowe is going to fix it. And Grandma Lowe fixed it. And so, that's the legacy that I get to leave behind, that Grandma Lowe could fix things. And Grandma Lowe, you couldn't even tell once Grandma Lowe fixed it, it was fixed. And so, yeah, I'm back. I will be doing some lives from the studio. Um, you can find me also on Instagram, Create University. I don't want to change my I'm so favored, because I am. I have the favor of God all over me. So I'm so favored. But I will be talking to you from Create University, EDU, from time to time, and also just from a place of inspiration, because I am so favored, and I have created a space for me. in this life, now that I've raised my children, I have created a space. I am raising a teenage 84-year-old, my mother. That has been a really something. That's been something, something. Because she is funny, and she is a handful because she's 84. Um, and she's a teenager at the same time because, she's just full of life and full of, I can do all things and I'm invincible. So a keeping a handle of where she is in life and my job, and now what I want to be when I grow up. This sewing instructor, inspiring creators, all for the world to come. Um, yeah, my hands are really, really busy. I have enough business to mind that I don't have to mind anyone's business. So yeah, you'll find me out and about on social media. I am also on TikTok. And yeah, let's do this. All right. Thank you, and I'll see you guys soon. Good night.